The world is now flooded with data. There's no going back from that. But what if we can find a way to access it? Use what's out there not to generate advertising revenue for others, but deploy it in our own lives. Jumptuit promises to do just that. Cherry pick all the most relevant information out there and deliver it to us exactly when we need it. I'm here in Davos to talk to Jumptuit founder Don Leka about the brave new world of augmented intelligence. Okay, Don, good to talk to you. Let's start with looking at an example of what Jumptuit can do. Imagine that your client is a law firm. What sort of service could you offer the lawyers in a firm like that?
Sure. Well, let's take a complex case like the Boeing case. A law firm gets the account. On a Monday morning, you're an attorney in the firm. You go into a meeting on the Lion Air crash in Jakarta, and you discuss all of the details of the case. Jumptuit gets a highly nuanced awareness of what you're doing and is able to deliver highly nuanced information autonomously to you and to the members of the team in that meeting. And maybe from 11 to 12, you go into another meeting discussing the various contracts that have been canceled or orders that have been canceled. In the same process, we're able to gather information that's highly relevant from all market sectors and deliver that information to the individuals in the room. So they have the latest information, the fresh, nuanced information with high levels of veracity.
So we're in the law firm on our computer systems or even on our mobile phones. As and when it's relevant, that information will turn up on our systems, informing us of all the background information that we need on the particular topic we're tackling at that particular moment.
Yes, but we're providing each one of those individual users with only that which is of the highest relevance to the discussions. So the idea is not to give users more information, but to in fact give them less information. Just that which is the freshest, the newest, and that which has the highest level of dependability and reliability.
Okay, fine. So I'm Bob and I'm going into a meeting and I'm meeting with Jack, and then 10 minutes before the meeting or an hour before the meeting, my system will come up and say, you're meeting with Jack, he went to Harvard, he has this much experience, he's been covering this element of the story, he's involved in these areas, and he is also interested in these kind of topics. So it's a briefing in that respect.
Yes, it is. I mean, that's another great use case, I think, for Jumptuit, where we can actually even look at a calendar event 2 hours before a meeting or an hour before a meeting. We can look at all of the meeting participants, and then we can scan across all of the market sectors to find information that's relevant to that meeting.
So as a client of Jumptuit, what do I have to give you in order for you to be able to provide that service?
So basically, you have to open up certain basically application protocol interfaces, APIs to us that will give us information to analyze. And based on that information, we're able to match information that's the most relevant to the user and deliver that autonomously throughout the course of the workday.
So because it's not a database, it's not a data lake, it's a streaming service, effectively plucking real-time information out as and when it's needed. My reaction as a citizen is that that's quite scary. I mean, it feels invasive, and also it feels as if I'm surrendering material to a third party, which they say is for my benefit, but there's a lot of privacy issues in that.
Yes, so first of all, it is a stream, so that's a very important distinction. We're not accumulating a data lake in the traditional way. We've designed Jumptuit as a smart conduit, basically an interchange of data. So we minimize the storage of data as much as possible within our systems, and that is one form of protection that we provide. Another form of protection that we provide is we've built a data rights matrix. We had a team of lawyers working alongside a team of developers, and they went through the regulations within every industry, so NAICS codes and SIC codes, and we were able to apply those on an industry basis. And so that two entities, two companies that are exchanging information on our system, were able to enforce the regulations automatically of each industry. So it could be, let's say, a company in the financial sector in the United States sharing information with an insurance company in the European Union, and they're able to exchange information and not only apply the rules of each market sector, but also apply the rules of each jurisdiction. So it's extremely granular in terms of our ability to apply those rules.
So tell me a bit about augmentation.
Well, I think a great way to visualize augmentation is from this perspective. People today spend maybe 70% of their time really searching for information, and it leaves them maybe 30% of their time to actually complete the projects or achieve their goals and objectives. So basically lifting that burden from the user and delivering that information that they need in a very granular way. So there's an augmentation there in terms of connecting them with the information that they need, maybe the human resources that they need, or even connecting them with the capital resources that they may need. So it could help facilitate users in a multitude of ways.
So on a personal level then, as I'm leaving my front door, I might get information that tells me about weather, about traffic, about pollution problems, or other issues that might affect me on that journey.
Let's assume you're in Seattle and you have a meeting in San Francisco in 4 hours. You're taking a flight from Seattle to San Francisco. In addition to providing you with this hyper-relevant information for your meeting that's up to date, up to the minute, and highly focused on the agenda of that meeting, we're also able to provide information about the physical environment at that location. And so we're able to say, okay, the air quality is such, or the pollen count is here, and that information is included. So there's a physical environment component to this that's highly useful and relevant to the user.
Ultimately, we're talking about a data stream that becomes bespoke for all users of Jumptuit. So we would walk around, we would be not bombarded, but given selective information all the time, unasked for, that was relevant to the whatever dilemmas or events we were facing that day.
That is a very good description. I think what's exciting here is the fact that we're giving time back to the user because we do not employ the engagement model. We're not advertising revenue based. Our service is more successful the less time users are interacting with our service. So the more relevant the information we get and the more quickly we get that information to the user allows the user to move on to the next task or their next goal or to move on to their next objective.
So you're an entrepreneur who's operating right at that moment in world history where data is becoming something we accept as being a fact of life, but we haven't quite worked out yet the best way to deploy or employ it. And you're looking at what the potential is for that, the data that's constantly streaming around the planet. How do you see then this developing? What's your view of data and our relationship with it at the moment?
Everything we've discussed today was not possible 10 years ago. This is an exciting time to be in the tech industry. The ability to manage large data sets is here. AI works. There are other exciting technologies like blockchain that help to protect and provide transparency to all of the participants, from large companies to governments to individuals. So this is an extraordinarily exciting time. It's fraught with opportunities. There are also challenges, of course. So it's important that we look at this from the point of view of how to benefit the individual user. And that's our approach. We look at it from the perspective of taking the full power of AI and blockchain and other technologies and redirecting that technology and that power back to the individual user. Our view is that the collective becomes stronger when the individual user becomes stronger, when the individual components of the collective become stronger.
Don, thanks very much indeed. Good talking to you.
Thank you.